Good day to you all. Welcome to Maths Global Learning Hub at Mr. T. In today's lesson, we are given coordinates on a Cartesian plane, and we need to answer the questions below. So the first thing that I need to do here is I need to create a right-angled triangle, and I put my right angle at the x-axis here. I have to label this diagram. I'm given that this part here is 5 units, and then this is x. I need to calculate this value, and then this other side is -3. I'm going to use the theorem of Pythagoras. So I'm going to write here and if I simplify, I'm going to get, moving on, I'm going to get x equal to, but if I look at my diagram here, I only need the positive part of the answer. So I'm going to select x is equal to 4, and then I write it down on the diagram. After doing that, my next step will be to write down these abbreviations, and they are going to help me to answer the following questions. This is going to give me the ratio for sine, the ratio for cos, and then the ratio for tan. In number 1, I'm given cos 2 theta, so I must write down an identity for cos 2 theta. And cos 2 theta has got 3 identities. I'm going to choose the first one. Then after that, I'm going to substitute, and if I substitute, cos is 4/5, then I have to square it, minus sine is -3/5 squared. And if I simplify here, I'm going to get 16/25 minus 9/25. And my final answer is going to be 7/25. Moving on to the next part of the question, I'm given sine theta minus 45 degrees. And here I need to apply the compound angles. And this is what I get. Now I have to do my substitutions. Sine theta, I'm going to get it from the diagram. And I know that this is -3/5. Cos 45 is a special angle. Cos theta, I'm going to get it from the diagram. And sine 45 is a special angle. Having done that, I proceed to simplify. And if I simplify here on the first one here, I'm going to get, and on the second one, I'm going to get, and then my final answer is going to be which simplifies to in the next question, we are given that 17 sine theta is equal to 15, and theta is an angle between 90 and 270 degrees. So we begin here by rearranging, and if we rearrange, we are going to get that sine theta is equal to 15/17. And sine theta is positive, so it is positive in the first quadrant and in the second quadrant, so I mark here. And if I look at my condition here, the condition is covering the second quadrant and the third quadrant. So I must draw my diagram in the second quadrant. And the right angle triangle should always be on the horizontal x-axis. Then after that, I need to label my diagram. If I go back to sign here, I can see that this is representing the opposite side. This is representing the hypotenuse. So I label the diagram. And this side is unknown. In order for me to find the unknown side, I'm going to use the theorem of Pythagoras. So I'm going to write it here. X squared is equal to 17 squared minus 15 squared. And I'm using the theorem of Pythagoras. X squared is equal to 64 after simplifying. And if I take the square root of both sides, I'm going to see that x is equal to plus or minus 8. But if I look at my diagram here, I see that x is on the negative side. So I'm going to select x is equal to negative 8. And then I can write it on the diagram. And before I proceed, I need to write down the abbreviations. And these abbreviations are going to help me to do the question. This one is tan, this one is cos, and then the first one is sine. Number one, we need to find the value of tan theta. And if we look at the diagram, we can see that tan theta is opposite over adjacent, which is 15 over negative 8, which I can write as negative 15 over 8. And I leave my answer like that. Then part 2, I need to write the identity. And then after writing down the identity, I need to substitute. And according to the diagram, sine theta is 15 over 17. And if I go to the diagram, cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. And then I can write my answer here as negative 8 over 17. And when I simplify this, I'm getting my final answer is negative 240 over 289. Moving on to the next part of the question. I need to use compound angles. Please be very careful. Always check this on the formula sheet before you commit yourself to writing the identities down. Cos theta, I'm going to get it from the diagram. And according to the diagram, cos theta is negative 8 over 17. But cos theta is a special angle, which gives me a value of square root of 3 over 2. Sin theta, I use the diagram, and if I use the diagram, sin theta is given as 15 over 17, and sine 30 degrees is a special angle, and I'm going to write here 1 over 2. And then I proceed with my simplification. If I simplify, in this part here, I'm going to get and then on the other part, I'm going to get then my final answer is going to be And if you put this in the calculator, you will observe that your calculator writes this answer in this form here.